Hi, it's me, Richard, from Rammstein and Emigrate.
Hi, I'm Arnaud from Emigrate.
I was always a big believer that, every band have their own rhythm. And being busy with Rammstein over the years, of the last 7 years, I always felt like, I didn't want to be pressured. I didn't want to be pushed into a situation where they have to do things. So it took me time to realize, when the songs that I was writing constantly were ready for the world of Emigrate. So it took 7 years, and 2 years ago, finally I was sitting down, listening to the tracks, and felt like, what, now is the time where actually, we built a team around it, see what comes out of it, and that was the right moment.
It took 7 years, but it was worth taking 7 years actually, because it's just like, a song is a little bit like wine, it needs to age a little bit, and sometimes you need to take a distance, with what you're creating. And there was a moment where it seemed obvious that it was now, we had to start working on them.
Being a guitar player and becoming a singer of a band was some big challenge I had in my life. There were certain challenges I had in my life, but it was one of the big one. There were a lot of times where I felt like, I don't want to do that, because I was really frustrated. On one hand, I was a guitar player, I knew exactly what to do, I knew how to write songs, but as a singer I was a baby in a Ferrari, I didn't know what to do, and there were so many times I was so frustrated because I had a certain kind of sound in my head I couldn't deliver. So, and there were so many times I said, like, I don't want to do that. And Arnaud was the guy that really stand behind me and said, like, Richard, you're the only guy that really can sing those songs that you write. So he is a big supporter of me, and I think that's, I'm really loyal. I'm a really loyal guy, and I think that's why I'm still staying with him,
Maybe this is why we have...
And he gives good blowjobs too.
Oh, come on, Richard. No, the thing is that, so we're pretty much both loyal to each other actually, because the thing is that what I found really interesting is the fact that he was a little bit of a gem, not knowing it. First, it's true that the very first demos that I heard, like when we really started, the voice was all over the place, but there's one thing that I heard is that he had an incredible range. And I used to work a lot with singers back then, and I knew exactly what were the traps you can fall in when you're in a studio, in terms of identity, in terms of actually also switching from being an instrument player to becoming a singer, where when you're playing an instrument, you're a little bit like hiding behind like an instrument, you're hiding behind a tool. Where you're a singer, you're really naked, it's really your tool is yourself. And so it can lead to like identity crisis, and some people have like very, 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 very hard time. And even like great singers, sometimes they're like totally freak out in studio. So I knew all these traps, I knew also how to monitor his voice. And the thing is that it became very clear to me that when I was saying that he was the best singer for Emigrate back then, it was really true, because he was definitely defining and constructing the identity of the music, by his voice.
I think the first record was a situation where we were looking for sound. Every band that starts to look for a certain kind of sounds. Every component in a band, what the members, the surrounding, which city you're in, all matters, to create some kind of sound. So we were researching for something that we didn't know. I always thought of Emigrate to do something the opposite than to the Rammstein world. Rammstein is a really close kind of environment, and I come from a time where bands would come up every day, people would collaborating every time, and for some reason it changed after the wall came down. People were really confused then, and people all of a sudden got robbed by their own culture and by their identity. Something stopped. And being with Rammstein over these years, I was looking for something that's kind of more an open source. Kind of like collaborate with other people that I like, be open as possible. And in the beginning we tried it, but then we were so more concentrated on us and finding ourselves. And I think that's the biggest difference to the second one. We were more convinced and more confident about what we did, that we actually asked other people to join us, And that's what I actually see a future in Emigrate. Emigrate is a band or it's a band for me that are able to cooperate with a lot of other people, and that's what the fun in this band is for me, you know.